Hey, I'm hooked.
12 years ago today, the movie that changed my brain chemistry forever, Rise of the Guardians, released in South Africa. I know that the American and first official release date was the 21st of November. But yeah, the video wasn't gonna come out that time, so I found a loophole. The movie follows Jack Frost, who, after 300 years of not being believed in, is a bitter, angry, Tumblr sexy man. And the man in the moon, you can't explain this movie. You can't explain this movie without sounding like you're high. The movie follows Jack Frost as he assists the guardians of childhood, Sandman, Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, and Santa Claus, to take down Pitch Black, aka the Boogeyman, because he wants to take over children's nightmares. I'm only realizing now that this concept was insane. So shenanigans ensue, and through the power of friendship, believing in yourself, being brave, Jack earns his title as Tumblr Sexy Man and Guardian. That's important too. And despite the movie having a fire premise that I can't explain for the life of me, it never got a sequel. A DreamWorks movie that did not get a sequel. And I know the reason why this movie almost bankrupted the entire company. Smarty Pants explains it way better than me in their video. I'll leave a link in the description. But just because I know the why doesn't mean I'm not bitter. I am extremely bitter. Now, being the hyper-obsessed fan that I am, I went looking for Rise of the Guardians fanfiction and any other content that I could get my little hands on. And wouldn't you know, I stumbled upon the original book series that Rise of the Guardians was based off of. And while I didn't read the books just yet, I did see, again, videos by Smarty Pants which basically summarize the books. There is so much that you can do with each and every one of these characters that it's even more frustrating. And that's what this video series is about, where I, an overly enthusiastic fan, talk about what I think would be possible for a Rise of the Guardian series. And along with giving you the ramblings of a mad woman, I'm also going to show you my redesigns for the Rise of the Guardians characters. Because while I adore this movie with all my heart and soul, the character designs are good, but more could have been done. But then again, looking at the movie's financial state, if they had to do any more animation on these characters' designs, then my chances of getting a sequel or series would be worse than they already are. So that's what we're doing. So we're starting off with the series villain, Pitch Black, or Cosmotius Pitchineer. I recently found out that that's his name. That's his real name. I see why he changed it. So my only issue with Pitch's outfit is that it's kinda boring. It's a long black robe, which upon rewatching I realized might not actually be a robe because it fuses onto his arms. So it might be another layer of skin? I'm not going down that rabbit hole. But for my interpretation of Pitch, I looked at his design from the books, which, excuse me, dramatic much. I love this design, but for a guy who's named Pitch Black, there's a lot of red in this design. So I put him in the same fold over coat with star buttons and the same popped out spiky collar, but I simplified it a bit, gave him the same waistband but changed it from red to grey, Most of the colors that I switched out was switching out the maroons in his book design with grays. I also gave him fold-over sleeves with star cufflinks, and I gave him a headband crown thingamajiggy. Its main purpose was to make that the grey travels more, but there is also a lower reason to why I gave it to him. I also made the whites of his eyes yellow. You'll see that when I recolor them, because making it white made him look too human. And the horses in the background, I can't draw horses. Yeah, I can't draw horses' bodies. So yeah. So I made it look like they were broken up weird spirit thingies. For his hair, I made it a bit longer and made it a bit more spiky and messy. This man has been alive for over 400, possibly 500 years. His hair is gonna be a mess, especially if he's hiding under beds. I also gave him a slit in his eyebrow, just because, and I kept the pointy ears that he had in his movie design. That also had a purpose of making so that the yellow travels, and it also has to do with the law. So for his law, unlike most of the other Guardians that were chosen by Man in the Moon, Pitch was not. The reason why he was able to survive so long is because he's not human. He's an alien. And his species just so happens to live forever, meaning that they don't reproduce often because of the fact that they don't die out unless they're killed. According to the wiki, his species doesn't actually have a name, but I'm calling them the starlings because star is my entire aesthetic. Your girlie is keeping on theme. The starlings were the most powerful and intelligent species this side of the galaxy. Or at least that's what they thought. Cosmotius Pitchanier happened to be one of the starling generals, meaning that he oversaw one of the planets that the species saw as dangerous, and it was his job to protect them from it. The planet that Pitchanier happened to be overseeing was one of darkness, misery, and fear. The only species that lived there were like spirits, husks of nothing but darkness, misery, and fear. Overseeing this planet was actually not that difficult of a task for Pitchanier. In fact, he saw it as beneath him. He didn't believe that all their species was capable of was hiding or defending themselves over these types of dangers. He believed that his species should have control over these species. Starlings were creatures of insane magical ability, and Pitchanier saw himself as one of the greatest magic users that his planet has ever seen. So in his mind, with a little bit of magic, he could easily overthrow or enslave these brainless, miserable creatures. One day, when he was guarding this planet of misery, he attempted to enslave these creatures. He didn't expect them to fight back. He expected an easy conquer, and he expected to be praised by his kind for being the first to attempt something so great. Keyword there, he didn't expect them to fight back, but they did. And not only did they fight back, they corrupted him. The way that these darkness creatures fought wasn't physically, it was mentally. They took over his mind, filled it with the darkness and the misery that each and every one of them felt. Neither the planet of misery nor Cosmotus Pitchanier existed anymore. All that was left was pitch black. With this newfound darkness, Pitch didn't just set his eyes on the weak misery planet. He set his eyes on his own planet. He wanted to conquer. He wanted to conquer every single planet that he could get his hands on. And not for his kind, for his own selfish ego. With the misery creatures at his side, he easily corrupted the nightmares of almost every child on his planet. The more they screamed in terror, the more powerful Pitch Black felt. He wanted not only the planet, he wanted the galaxy. He wanted every galaxy. Day after day, planet after planet, Pitch Black came, he corrupted, he broke, he conquered. His latest sights, a quaint little planet called Earth. The screams of these children were the most powerful that he ever felt. But there was a catch. Unless these Earth children believed in you, you had no power over them. And somewhere out there was another starling wanting to finally take down Pitch Black for stealing his home, for stealing the lives of countless species, for destroying countless planets. But this starling couldn't do it alone. So, that was my interpretation of Pitch Black from Rise of the Guardians and what could possibly happen if the movie got a sequel or hopefully a series. I'm banking on the series. Next video will be Toothiana, aka the Tooth Fairy, and let me know in the comments what you thought of this video. And let's hear some of your headcanons for the Rise of the Guardians characters. Any character, any headcanon. I'm really excited to see that. And let me know, would you prefer a Rise of the Guardians series or a Rise of the Guardians sequel? I hope you guys had fun with this one, and I'll see you in the next one.